Taco Bell, the undisputed heavyweight champion of making an entire menu out of the exact same 5 ingredients and finding 150 different ways to fold a tortilla. Honestly, you have to respect the hustle. Today we're looking at their latest masterpiece, up on the butcher block, the Chicken Bacon Ranch Street Chalupa. If you are new here and food content is your thing, go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more teardowns and reviews. Now let's get to the food. Now, a version of these cheesy chalupa shells has been hopping on and off the Taco Bell menu as far back as 2019 when they first introduced the toasted cheddar chalupa, but these little guys are a product of their development team led by their Chief Food Innovation Officer Liz Matthews. They launched alongside the Chicken Bacon Ranch Nacho Fries, which at first glance looks like a delicious cheese-covered deep-fried brick of happiness, but more on those in a little bit. Let's hit the streets to figure out the deets on this street chalupa. We do have some new hardware in the kitchen today, but I believe I purchased the wrong model because this is a taco holder and, as you can see, not a chalupa holder. So, plan B it is. The CBR Street Chalupa starts with a street-sized toasted cheddar chalupa shell, filled with savory slow-roasted chicken and bacon, freshly prepared pico de gallo, finely shredded cheddar cheese, and it is finished off with an avocado ranch sauce, ×2. At first, when looking at the price tag, I was a little taken aback, but $6.49 for 2 tacos seems to be on par with the average around here, and speaking of price, it's time to get them on the scale. Since these are sold exclusively as a pair, we have to weigh them as a pair, and at 6.1 ounces, we're looking at $1.06 per ounce, which is honestly surprising for Taco Bell. And a quick look at our cost sheet puts the Bell in 3rd place for most expensive. Yikes. Now that we're done with the cost section, let's move on to the cross section. We've been cutting sandwiches in half on this channel for the most part, minus a deep dive into the Arby's steak nugget, which I recommend you give a watch. And common sense would dictate we cut this in half this way, not this way. But we have 2 and a pretty sharp knife, so let's get to chopping. Ooh, nice crunch. Not gonna lie, don't know what I was expecting, but it wasn't this. Looks like the ranch is present on every layer of this thing. You can make out a little bit of the pico, and either the chicken soaked into the shell or this little guy took some of the fryer with him on the way out. Now, you probably thought I was joking earlier, but we are going to cut this long ways. For science. Another satisfying crunch. This perspective does tell a better story of what's going on in here. I will say that with bacon in the title, I thought there would be more of it, and after a closer look at the bottom of this shell, the chalupa is definitely acting like a sponge when they cook it up. Now that the mess is made, let's do a little chew and review. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't think I've ever had a Taco Bell chalupa. Geronimo. A very tasty crunch. The shell has almost a deep-fried Cheez-It taste to it. The chicken is moist, and the pico balances out the gobs of avocado ranch, sort of like this fresh punch through all the fat. Little upset I don't taste bacon at all, which is one of only 2 detractors on this whole thing. The other of which is this is a touch salty, even for fast food standards, and as we look at the nutrition info, we can see why. That is a chaotic amount of sodium at just over half your daily recommendation. Now, I don't know if it's the chicken or the chalupa shell, but I'm inclined to believe both. An interesting note about the chicken is that it's not cooked from raw in the store. It's pre-cooked and pre-seasoned at a central facility before getting shipped to the store frozen, where it is then thawed and reheated and kept in a well until ordered. Now, I couldn't get the little street guys without their counterpart, the Chicken Bacon Ranch Nacho Fry. I enjoy the plain Jane Nacho Fry with its slightly spiced Mexican seasoning, but cheese and bacon seems as logical a direction as any for a fried potato. Now, we aren't going to do a whole teardown here, but let's see how much this dense little brick of potato weighs before digging in. We'll go ahead and tack on a few ounces, but this is a unit at half a pound. I'll splash some nutrition info on the screen so we can cry a little bit. As expected, not the most nutritionally dense item, but the bar was low while the flavor is high. Little zip from the fries, bacon, ranch, and cheese, much happiness. But this needs something else. There isn't going to be a super clean way to do this. We got the gloves on for a reason. Go ahead, drop him there. Give him a nice little roll up here. Nice little fold. Got another little fold. Tuck him in. Press down. Ta-da. Let's see if I can get my mouth around this. You know it's good when you get that big old burrito slurp. How is this not a thing? I think most things can be improved upon by being put in a burrito, and this is no exception. Much delight. And as you can see, we actually have bacon in here this go around, and at half a pound, Chipotle better be on notice. Overall, between the chalupa and the fries, I highly recommend you give them a go while they're around. Definitely not in one sitting, but there's a lot of flavor to be had that doesn't taste like the same 5 ingredients all the time. If you're able to find you a cool Taco Bell that would put these fries in a burrito, I strongly recommend that as well. Anyway, that's all for today. As always, I appreciate you all stopping by to learn a little bit about the food we chew, so until next time, remember to be kind.